Again, if you have public comment to make, please come up, state your name. You're limited to 3 minutes.
David Bowie. I'm going to take this opportunity to defend my characterization of a bait and switch. It was passed with certain fees and you changed it. Those fees and all the discussions, I sat through them all, there was a glee of how much income the city was going to make from these fees. And that was part of the decision. So to now put blinders on and say, well, we should have hashed it out then, and if we reduced it, it would have made any difference. Well, maybe it's not, but maybe there would have been more discussion, maybe there would have been a different outcome. But there was a bait and switch. It was passed with certain fees, and now they're being changed after the fact. Talk about MRB came back the day after to try to get the fees reduced. You just accepted a recommendation from MRB. Well, actually, it was a city committee at that was initiated by an MRB request on economic incentives. It was chaired by the chairman of MRB, Dan Wright, attended by Gay Stockman and George Galt. Their report came back and recommended no reduction of any fees. So I don't understand how it's just hit and miss up here. You go after and say, we're not going to reduce fees, and now, I mean, what? Less than a month later, now we're going to reduce fees when it wasn't recommended. MRB knew that Deep Roots Medical wanted to reduce the fees. Why didn't they bring it up at those hearings? Why? Because they didn't want the contention of the discussion. So I think you need to look at you know, your honesty of decision making. If you make a decision, I think at some point you need to stand by it. What I heard Councilman Hafen say was, George says, well, when we get up and running, they aren't up and running. They may be moving toward that. And when I made that statement on the business license fees, that was what I was told by Laura Woolsey 2 weeks ago, that no fees have been paid. And I would have expected, since they had an active business license, sorta, that they would have been paid those quarterly fees. They're not based on sales. They're based on having the license. There should have been some quarterly sales collected. So call it a bait and switch, I don't think so. They're getting special handling. We now reduced it below Henderson and Las Vegas fees. So I think there was a lot of misrepresentation passing this from the beginning, and thank you.
Last time I forgot to identify myself. I'm Connie Faust, Mesquite resident. I know you know me, but I'm really disappointed in this. Last year when we went through this, and I swear to God I would never have to bring this up again, but you guys keep bringing it up, so I have to. But we had a couple hundred people in here that didn't want this business to go forward. And we had a vote that it wouldn't. And then the vote got changed in the middle of the night. Now the fees are changed. I'm sorry, I don't find any humor in it, okay? No, I don't, Cindy. I'm going to just remind you that you made a promise last year, and we will hold you to it, that there will not be any recreational marijuana in Mesquite. And that is on the record.
Without a vote.
Without a vote.
Referendum.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, John Williams, you know, I do my fair share of criticizing of actions of public agencies. I think that's an important function of engaged citizens. But I don't often pat you on the back. But I think you made a wise and sensible decision tonight. You supported a business. You're doing something to defray the idea that Mesquite is not business friendly by actually being business friendly to a new and very promising business in town that's already spending a lot of money. Mr. Rabson, I particularly take your fair is fair argument as being sensible and logical, and fair is fair. So thank you for making a good decision tonight that helps this new business become a healthy member of our business community and a contributor to all of us. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other